We're about to catch up to the CEO of ReadySet, a great community sector organisation that does so much good work, especially at this very important time in Australia's history when so many things are suspended. Jodie Tuckwell-Knight, how are you? Welcome to The Informer.
Really good. Thanks so much, George. Great to be here.
Now, I mentioned these are difficult times, and you guys do an enormous job by, I suppose, supporting all those people who, from falling into the cracks, all those support agencies that do so much tremendous work, and you're one of them, and you've been going since, I think, the beginning of the year. You did a major launch.
We've been so as ReadySet since March, but we started in 2011.
All right.
Helped a lot of people.
So what got you into it in 2011? Did you see a niche and you thought, I can help out here?
So many people say that like I'm the founder, and I love that because I think that's because I'm so passionate about the place.
You're the CEO.
I'm the CEO, but I'm not the founder.
No, but you have so many responsibilities, and if the founders sort of disappear in the background, it's because you've got everybody focused on the important things going that way, going forward and growing. That's important. So where did it start for you, 2011? Let's go back to 2011. What were you doing? What were you thinking?
So in 2011, I personally was working in a disability employment service provider in Footscray, which was great. And that was sort of not long after, it's probably a few years into my start into the community sector, which was where I really found my place. And I was introduced to, we were then Wear for Success, by one of my team members. He said, I've found out about this amazing organisation that's based in South Melbourne, and they provide clothing and sort of career support for job seekers. You should go and visit because you would really love it. So it was a group of women. It was all women who got together. There were about 15 of them at the time, and I think it was in 2010. They were working for another provider that was supporting only women, and they kept on getting asked, who's supporting men, or who's supporting people in the transgender community, or who's doing that? And there wasn't anyone doing it. So that old saying goes, someone should do it, and they decided to be that somebody. So this group, from 2010 to 2011, so 2011 they opened up their doors and provided the support to all genders. So it didn't matter whether you're non-binary, transgender, I don't know all the official terminology, and I don't want to get into trouble, and male, female, come in. So everyone was welcome, and I think that's incredible. And since then, it's probably about 7,500 people have been supported. Wow. Now, I was introduced, and if you ask one of the founding members, Karen, who, God bless her, is still with us, she's still, she could be there, she would be there Tuesday, Wednesday, admin, volunteering every week. Incredible. She said, Jodie walked in the door and she not only became a referral partner, because I started referring clients to Wear for Success, I also became a volunteer. So I've been a volunteer, a Saturday dresser, since just after the doors opened, when I was in the group that did the first lot of Saturday dressing, and have been so committed and passionate about it since.
So I know now what you do, but how do you do it? It's fascinating. I mean, as you said, take us now at the beginning of the year, March, when you did the launch. Yep. And of course, we were just on the cusp of a series of restrictions, which was going to make life difficult, but we never imagined we were going to be where we are today.
Never, ever did I imagine that. So we did a massive renovation. So we launched a Impact 5000 campaign mid last year, and because we wanted to impact the lives of 5,000 people per year by 2022. Normally we would sort of support around 1,500 people. We would normally do face-to-face service, and we did a renovation in January, opened up to the people that we support in February, and then closed the doors in March, obviously, with everyone else. We provide clothing, coaching and connection. So the clothing is...
How do you do all that? How do you do all that face-to-face stuff when here we are and we're only able to talk to one another via Zoom? Well, I mean, how does the applicant get any assistance in this day and age through this horrific time?
It's really hard. Well, it's really hard because most job service providers are providing their support over the telephone or via Zoom and whatnot. So it's not, they're not in front of someone. And for someone who is, isolated by unemployment or, really struggling, that face-to-face connection in person is so important to stay connected and stay on purpose and keep moving forward. And I guess, as I said, we did the renovation so we could have more people coming in our doors and be providing that personalised attention. And it is personalised, tailored attention. So what we've done, because you can't be dressing people. Like normally it's very hands-on. There's, you have the job seeker, you have 2 volunteers dressing, and it's such a connected experience and it builds such rapport and confidence. So then it was like really quickly, because, we did our last Saturday dressing on the 14th of March, and on the 16th I had to make the call to say, because everyone was getting nervous. The volunteers were nervous. The team were a bit nervous. We didn't know what was happening. We made the call when I had the emergency board meeting. One of the board members said, we'll close until after Easter. And I, no way. I said, we'll be closed for 2 weeks and then we'll be back at it. Well, little did I know. So we adapted.
So what you're saying is your name is not Nostradamus.
No, it's not. Jodie Lorraine Nostradamus Tuckwell-Knight. That's a mouthful. It's not. So no, it's not. But what we did do is you should work out what you can do. Yep. So, it would have been easy just to shut the doors and say, what, put a notice on the door. We're closed. COVID's here.
A lot of people have done that.
We couldn't do that. Not, we exist to help people. We don't exist to make it easy for us. We exist so it can be easier for others.
That's fantastic stuff.
Yeah, so we started doing the virtual.
So fantastic. Now, so one of the hardest things though about virtual is, and from my understanding of what you do, you grab the applicant and you put them in the spotlight and you make them feel like like they're worthy applicants, as we should.
Absolutely.
But it's pretty hard to do, quite seriously, Jodie, virtual, okay?
It is, but it's not impossible. So you can't, honestly, we haven't had the numbers of referrals coming through. And I think because people have been told to stay home. We're in Victoria, for goodness sake. We're in Melbourne.
So who do you collaborate with?
All the different job service providers. So when I say job service provider, we call them referral partners. So it's a collaboration. So it's Wise Employment, Max Employment, think Brotherhood of St. Lawrence, Sacred Heart Mission, all of those wonderful organisations refer clients through to us, and we do our part. So we provide clothing. So normally it would be a one-on-one, 2 volunteers with a job seeker, spending an hour dedicated totally to them. We may also provide career support. So it might be preparing their CV. It might be doing interview skills, might be doing all sorts of things, because there's no point putting the clothes on someone and they look great, but they don't know how to have eye contact. Yeah. We used to say how to shake a hand. Well, you're not even allowed to shake hands now. But, how to present yourself in an interview, how to, maintain confidence and that sort of thing. So we do that as well. And also on an ad hoc basis, it's been the connection, which is what we want to do more of, because we want to be able to connect people to real jobs. And we've done it on an ad hoc basis. We want to have like a whole program around that. But if you even just go to connection full stop, when someone comes in the door and you treat them with kindness and compassion and you dedicate your attention to them, there's a connection there. And as a dresser, so a Saturday dresser, rapport is built really, really quickly. And it's incredible to watch someone come in feeling not so flash. You don't want to see them feeling not so flash, but that's the current state. And then just about skipping out the door and being, feeling that they've been cared for and that someone cares and there's someone there that's going to help, and that they've got what they need to take the next steps. And that's really powerful.
When you hear that someone has done well, does it reverberate throughout the entire organisation?
Oh my goodness, there is nothing more joyful. Actually, I feel like tears in my eyes. There's nothing more joyful than having someone's got a job, because having a job, having income, having purpose, having a reason to get out of bed. Now I've had, one lovely actually messaged her because we're connected on LinkedIn now. Marnie came in a couple of years ago, and we dressed her to get prepared for job interviews, and then she came back. And when someone comes back, they've got a job. And I've got a video of her joy telling me about the jobs that she's got. And she said, it wasn't just about the job. It was actually feeling part of the community again. She said it was getting on public transport and feeling like I belonged to something again. Yeah. And she'd had a tough time.
You don't feel like a dropout. You feel like you're a worthy applicant and a member of society.
You are.
That's worth gold, Jodie. That's gold.
Really,
speaking of gold,
really
how do you sustain? How does Ready Set do what it does, or allowed to do what it does? Where does your funding come from?
We had our first lot of government funding last year, but that's done, so it was one-off. But you know what? The power that having resources does to be able to propel you forward. So for a long time there, it was all volunteers, and then a couple of years in we had an employee. And then for a long time, for me, I was there as the only employee, surrounded by incredible volunteers, but it is actually really hard. So people complain about, you hear people talk about charities with administration costs, and you should keep that at, I think it should be around 20% or something like that. And you hear of astronomical amounts, but people shouldn't begrudge not-for-profits and charities for having administration costs, because if you don't have a team there to manage and drive the mission and what needs to happen, it doesn't happen. I can say from personal experience, there's only so much you can do before you almost kill yourself trying to do it all, because you don't have a paid resource who is tasked with that. For a long time, I didn't have someone I could say, you need to go and do this, and you need to have it done by this time. And that was their job. That's really, really hard. So right now, I'm really lucky because we got that some funding, it was the muster program with the government, which was incredible. And I'm just so grateful because it helped. It really, I can't even explain how much it helped us propel forward.
Well, we're talking to Jodie Tuckwell-Knight from Ready Set, and you get to realise just how much and what a fantastic job these community sector organisations provide, especially at this time. If ever anyone wanted to see how important our non-for-profits and our community sector is, this is the time, because the work that you're providing, the effort you're making behind the scenes is all important. More power to you, more funding to you, and we wish you all the success.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us, Jodie Tuckwell-Knight.